Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at some more figures from the Star Wars Rebels animated TV series, and this time around we're going to take a look at this guy, the faithful Astromech Droid C1-10P, also known as Chopper. This is a very cool figure, although I do feel like Hasbro missed a huge opportunity with this guy. As we've seen throughout the Star Wars Rebels series, Chopper utilises a ton of hidden gadgets and tools, and sadly these are all missing from this figure. That's not to say, however, that what we get isn't good, because let me tell you, I'm a huge fan of this figure, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But as I said, those hidden gadgets and all the extra utensils that this figure has, or this character has, sorry, would have been a welcome addition and would have made this figure 10 times better than he actually is. But as I said, he is a cool figure and I definitely recommend him. Before we talk about this figure's pros and cons, however, we are going to jump into the packaging that this figure comes in. And as always, we get the very cool Star Wars Rebels packaging design with this figure. As you can see, we've got that very cool Stormtrooper artwork in the back on the card there. And we've got the Star Wars Rebels and Disney logos up top. Down in the bottom corner we have an image of C1-10P. And on the back we've got another image of Chopper, as well as some of the other figures available in the Saga Legends and Star Wars Rebels line. As you can see, this collection does merge the Star Wars Rebels animated TV series and the Star Wars movies into one action figure collection, so you can pick up figures from across the saga in this line. And most of these Star Wars Rebels figures have been reviewed. You can check out reviews on Agent Kallus and Kanan, the Inquisitor, Ezra and the Stormtrooper on our channel. And sometime soon, hopefully, we'll be picking up some of those movie Saga Legends figures to give you a look at some of those. The Snowtrooper and Luke Skywalker in particular are at the top of my list, so hopefully we'll be able to pick those up sometime soon. But there is the packaging for the Star Wars Rebels Saga Legends Chopper figure. Now let's take a look at what we get inside, and here he is. As I said, this is a very cool figure. I just feel like Hasbro could have done so much more with it. As you've seen in Star Wars Rebels, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the review, Chopper does indeed utilise a ton of hidden gadgets, and a lot of these are located in the head. Now, if any of you guys are familiar with the Ralph McQuarrie concept art for R2-D2 from the original trilogy, then you'll know that Chopper does share some of those designs. He does feature the arms that pop out at the side of his head. The body of the figure is very similar as well. And as I said, you see all of these features throughout the Star Wars Rebels show. However, this figure doesn't have them, and what we see is what we get with this guy, which is a little bit of a shame. It would have been really nice to have had some of those hidden gadgets included, maybe some extra attachments for the side of the head and on the legs, but alas, this is what we get. As I said at the beginning of the review, that's not to say that this is a bad figure, because I am a huge fan of Chopper, not only as a character but as a figure as well. I'm a really big fan of the sculpt on this guy. He looks really cool, and he definitely looks like he does in the series. It's almost as though Chopper jumped off the screen and into our action figure collections. One thing I'm really pleased with, as I said, is the sculpt, and as you can see, the details that Chopper does indeed include are sculpted very nicely on this figure. Once again, going back to the Ralph McQuarrie concept art for R2-D2 from the original trilogy, as I mentioned, Chopper does indeed share some of those designs, and as you can see in the body, he's a little bit different to your usual Astromech Droid. He's a little bit shorter, a little bit bulkier, and a little bit stubbier. He does feature what appears to be an R5 head, and he does include a very unique body as well. Now, in terms of articulation, Chopper has got to be one of the least articulated figures from the Star Wars Rebels line, but that's only due to the fact that he is an Astromech Droid and not a human or an alien. Chopper does feature only a swivel dome and swivel shoulders. Obviously, with previous Astromechs we've seen hinges at the ankles and also hinges on the third leg, which again is absent from this figure. Chopper does indeed utilise just a wheel as opposed to a third leg, but again it would have been nice if that was included. We also have this sort of satellite dish or radar dish on the top of his head, and that can rotate as well, but it doesn't really serve a purpose because obviously it's just a disc that turns 360 degrees and it doesn't really offer up a new look for Chopper. As you can see there, the sculpt on this guy is very, very cool indeed. He really does look like the CGI model that appears in the series. And as I said, for what we actually get with this figure and for the price that we're being asked to pay for him, he's not bad at all. As I said, the Saga Legends figures will run you up around $5.99, which, you know, several years ago we would have got super articulated, premium detailed figures for that price. But as I said, in today's day and age, you know, we're expected to pay these sorts of prices and not quite get as much bang for our buck, and that's definitely the case with Chopper. As cool as he looks, he's just missing a few vital elements. But as I said, this figure as it is very, very cool. I'd highly recommend it if you're a fan of the Rebels series, and if you're a fan of this action figure line, then this is definitely one that you're going to want to add to your collection. He's a really cool looking figure, and yeah, a must have for any Rebels fan. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at C1-10P, also known as Chopper from Star Wars Rebels, and I'll be back to give you a look at some more figures from Rebels very, very soon. We've got a ton of Hasbro figures to give you a look at, some Lego sets and some Black Series stuff as well, so plenty to look forward to here on the channel, and that's all coming up very, very soon. So until then, as always guys, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.